Stormy Roberts with Green Industry Pros. Today I am in the Cub Cadet booth, joined by a very special guest.
Yes, thanks, Dormy. Aaron Griffith here, National Sales Manager for Cub Cadet's Pro Series of products.
So if you want to jump right in, let's talk about what we're standing in front of here.
Yeah, certainly. This is our 972 SDL, and what we want to highlight here with this unit is our steering wheel technology. We've actually had this steering wheel technology out for several years now, well over a decade. And what this steering wheel technology does is it allows you to handle slopes much better. When we take a unit and go from our lap bar to our steering wheel unit, we automatically gain 5 degrees of slope that the machine's capable of. And then this unit specifically, with the dual wheels on the back and the wheel weights in the front, it goes up to a 25-degree slope that this unit's rated for. The other thing that's nice about this unit is it prevents turfing. Now, this is a big, wide, aggressive tire on the dualies, but if we go to our turf tires, like you see behind us in the booth on that machine, the way the synchro steer technology works is as I turn this wheel, it makes the same adjustments to the transmissions that the sticks will if you're driving a lap bar. But then if I get this wheel all the way to 90 degrees, it automatically counter-rotates those tires, so you're gonna tear up turf much less. So that's gonna give you more productivity because you're not gonna have to do Y turns when you get to the end of your lines.
And Aaron, can you talk a little bit about the commercial landscape contractor and how they would use this type of machine?
Yeah, this machine specifically with the dualies on the back are for doing a lot of steep slopes. Let's say you're mowing a commercial property and there's some retention ponds there because they have to have retention ponds. This is gonna handle those slopes a lot better. Let's say you get a roadways contract and you need to mow the sides of roads. This is gonna do phenomenal. The nice thing about this technology though is there's a lot of specifically designed slope mowers that are out there. They're designed just to mow slopes with. But this machine can go right on a flat ground, do the most beautiful part of the property you have, as well as doing the slopes.
And you kind of touched on technology a little bit, but
Yeah.
What are you most excited about?
Yeah, the thing we're most excited about is our Surepath technology. So we're gonna walk over to that unit and take a look at that. So the Surepath technology that we developed, we took it off of our Pro Z900 platform and we actually added GPS to it. So this machine will drive hands-free now. So with this machine, you'll notice the difference between the machine we just looked at and this one is this antenna on the front. That's gonna be the antenna for the GPS. This unit will actually lock onto satellites and follow an auto correction network. So with this joystick on the side of the unit here is where you control it. All you have to do is hit this gray button, that's the GPS button. Once to start it, second is the B point, and that's gonna be your straight line. And that line goes forever. This machine will always be 3 3/4 inch of overlap. We've done a lot of testing with landscapers over the last year with this, doing third-party testing. We found that this machine, just in overlap alone, is 12% more efficient than a manual operator because you're always gonna have that guaranteed overlap. Then when you get to the end of the line, you just hit the turn left or turn right button and it follows on that line. So with labor shortages that are out there, harder to find people, you're getting new help. In 5 minutes, it doesn't matter if you've been running a machine for 20 years or 20 minutes, you will be as efficient as you possibly can. And then the end result of this is a perfectly straight stripe that is beautiful forever. You go around obstacles with it, it's gonna line right back up. So if you're taking a drone shot and you're trying to get a really high-end shot, all those lines are gonna be perfectly straight. So we really wanna focus in as we're developing products of ways to make you more efficient, just because of the labor that's out there.
And can you talk a little bit about the approach that Cub Cadet uses?
Yeah, let's do, as we're walking over to the stand-ons, let's talk about that a little bit. So what Cub Cadet does, anything that's in our Pro Series of products goes through what's called our professional test drive, which means that all of the products that you see at this show today have spent at least 1 full year with landscapers in the field being tested, and we get feedback from them weekly. The stand-on, for example, that we're gonna highlight here in just a second, we actually spent 2 years doing that. We went out and talked to landscapers before we even built the first one, got a lot of feedback, built a unit, took it to them, got more feedback, built a unit, and we went through 7 different versions of that with landscapers in the field to get that feedback. The Surepath that we're so excited to launch this year, we just did the same thing with it. Had units out with athletic complexes, racetracks, landscapers all across the country, all in 2021, giving us feedback on that unit to make sure it's going to be ready to go when we launch that product this spring. So moving on to our stand-ons, we've had those out for a couple of years now, but we wanted to talk about something that's really getting the attention of the landscape professionals. Landscapers are moving to stand-ons. It's been a wave going, the last few years, very popular. And when we went to build this, we wanted to talk to the landscaper to find out what their pain points were. And they really talked about comfort of using a stand-on, adjustability, raising and lowering the deck, where the controls are, because a stand-on is so tight. Trying to get everything in the right spot is really important. So this machine actually, this pad is fully adjustable. It moves up 2 inches for different height operators. It's fully bolstered so you can have a lot of comfort. You can lean into it different ways. There's actually a suspension adjustment right here with this lever where I can move the tension for the spring system on that platform. And then the deck lift. I can literally raise and lower this with 1 finger. Makes it very easy to use, where when you're on these stand-ons, you have to raise and lower that deck with your hand. So making this as easy to use as possible is really important. And even though we launched this just a couple of years ago, a couple of new things for the units that we would have launched last year at GAE, but unfortunately we weren't able to have it, were our EFI engines. We now offer it with a 29.5 horse Kawasaki EFI. And then our 36-inch machine, which is over there in the booth, we launched that about a year ago as well. Taking all of the same technology that we put into this and then put it into that smaller platform for backyards, going through fences and everything like that.
Yeah, and what kind of response has Cub Cadet seen with these types of stand-on mowers? Yeah,
with everyone moving to stand-ons more and more, this has been a machine that has really gotten the attention of landscapers in the market. Because when I point out the adjustable pad, the controls that are moved back a little bit, easy to use deck lift, we listen. We want to hear your feedback. That's why we love events and shows like this. Love to be back, because we can talk to the end customer and really find out what we can do to make your lives easier. Because at the end of the day, that's really what we're trying to do, is to make your lives as easier as we can. So our booth, our outside booth, love to talk to you inside, that's great. But we like to say the proof's in the pudding, so let's go outside and run some equipment. Our outside demo area is 6052D. They just did a fantastic job redoing the demo area over the last year. Yeah. They used that COVID year to make some much needed improvements. Exactly. And we are the first booth you'll find right on the left-hand side when you come out there. We'd love to get you on some product and get you running some stuff. So.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And if you are at GIE, you have to stop at Cub Cadet, excuse me. Make sure you go outside, just like Aaron said, and we hope to see you here.
Thanks, Dormy.